Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks are not playing like championship-esque teams right now, which brings people to wonder, would Giannis actually force his way out of Milwaukee? Daniel, roll the clip.
Have as much as organization. We're not organized. If you're not a big, you gotta get back. Especially a team like Boston, a team like the Nets, a team like Memphis that they love to play fast, like Chicago loves to play fast. There's got to be more individual pride. I think we got to take that individual pride more. And again, defensively, it's all about effort. If there's no effort, you're going to be horrible. And right now, at times, there's effort, and at times, there is not.
So it makes you wonder, right? When this team went out there and they traded for a Damian Lillard, right? They thought pairing him with Giannis Antetokounmpo would propel them over the top. We've seen them since become a shell of what we thought this team could be. And it's crazy to think a guy that as humble, as respectful as Giannis Antetokounmpo would request a trade. But it's something that's growing louder and louder. The season's still young, guys, but it is something to follow. It is a situation to follow. Apparently, there's been talks of, hey, if he were to request a trade, he would want to go to the Brooklyn Nets or he'd want to go to the Miami Heat, which I think are both interesting destinations for him. I got to imagine if he went to the Miami Heat, it would require a Jimmy Butler swap. I would expect that. But I don't know. This got me thinking a little bit. I don't think the Nets have the assets to trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. What do you see his future with the Milwaukee Bucks being?
So I've got two thoughts real quick. Number one, I also don't think Giannis is and should be, refrained from any blame. I think Giannis should take a lot of this blame. And I think that, yes, it may sound crazy. He is the best player. I think that this organization has gotten too comfortable with him being dominant. And that is, they built this team for him to just be dominant and that's it. But a player like his play style, him not being the facilitator is really hurting this team. Him not being, the real guy that's dishing out the rock and just the players around him. You can only rely on a guy like Giannis so much, right? He's putting up 37, 35, 34 a game, and he doesn't have that sidekick next to him, and he doesn't have the dudes around him respectfully. They ain't doing anything. And I think it's just not a good fit right now. Doc Rivers, I'm sure you've seen him on the sidelines multiple times, just his funny exaggerations. Like Doc is completely in over his head right now. That showed last year too. At the end of last year, he was a huge part of the reason why they sucked at the end of last season. So Malik, I don't know if he requests a trade. I will say Giannis, I don't think that he's got a long-term future in Milwaukee anymore, unless if they make some serious changes. And that is changing your head coach. The Dame and Giannis partnership, I've seen enough. I'm good. Dame is getting older. I've seen that. I'm just good personally. And that's what even Giannis was saying, how that quote that he was talking about, some people were saying it was about Dame, right? Because Dame's lackluster effort on defense was very abysmal and it was very shown. And I think that that's where the partnership just isn't working out with them too. And it's not like they've got a great supporting cast. So I think that his time is, slowly coming to an end. I don't think that he's one of the players like a Devin Booker that's going to stay in Phoenix as long as he has. I think that Giannis is potentially on the outs, or they've got to trade somebody to pair up with Giannis. But I think that I'm with you, Malik. I think that Giannis, we could see him in another jersey at some point in the next couple of years, because what happens if you don't make the playoffs this year? What happens if Giannis is healthy? He's putting up 35 a game. As much as I can say that Giannis is a part of the problem, does Giannis truly think that? Probably not. He's probably looking at his stat sheet. He probably knows what he has. He's a great dude. And he's probably saying, hey, listen, I'm putting him 35 a game and these dudes ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
Nobody's helping me out. So I would be curious to see what the trade market looks like for him. And Malik, it's not like this is a crazy thought process. We've seen stars get traded time and time again. So I think they let the season play out. I think that we'll see how the season plays out, but they're 1-4. This isn't anything new. We saw the same thing at the end of last year. So I think Doc Rivers should be gone. And
I feel like we say this every year when Doc is on a team or something like that.
And that's the issue. I don't know.
I think they have bigger issues than Doc. That's just my thought process. I think they shouldn't have moved on from Mike Budenholzer. I think that this organization got a little bit too uncomfortable in trying to build this dynasty up, and patience is required.
Mhm.
Would you imagine if the Nuggets moved on from Mike Malone? That would be a stupid decision.
Yeah.
Right. So
Mhm.
just my thoughts.